Hey YouTubers and fellow researchers out there, this is Caroline from Searching Scandinavia, and today I want to talk to you about Herdaminne, which is an amazing resource if you had a Swedish ancestor that was a part of the clergy, right? If you have never used these types of resources before, let me tell you all about them because I think you're going to really appreciate them. So, a Herdaminne is basically a personal history which was researched and compiled in the memory and in the honor of all the priests, ministers, bishops, and other clergy members that dedicated their lives to the Swedish church. Basically, herde is the Swedish word for shepherd, and minne is the literal word for memory. So it really just translates to a shepherd's memory, right? It's really a personal history in memoriam, if you will. So this is a printed work, a collective work that usually comes in several different volumes, and they are published for each deanery or parish or whatever area you have. And the purpose of them is to preserve the collective history of the Swedish church. Who worked there, what they accomplished, how the system worked, who got promoted, who were in charge, and all of the things that happened in that area at a particular point in time. And so, as you can imagine, this type of personal history encyclopedia is extremely valuable for any genealogist that is searching for a Swedish ancestor that was a member of the clergy. It's just a wealth of information. And not only is it user-friendly and basically done for you, but it also includes sources about where they had that information, right? Where the information came from, so that you can really further your research on your own. So if you have any member at all of the clergy in your ancestral line, then a Herdaminne should be your first go-to source for information about that person. And I am highlighting a blog post that I wrote that's available on my site at searchingscandinavia.com. So if you haven't visited me there, be sure to stop by. I will provide the direct link for this blog post underneath this video. Also, while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this and ring the little bell so that you get notifications every time I post something new. But let's get back to the video. So, what type of information can you find in this type of personal history? Well, usually you'll get a very detailed biography, which includes the person's full name at birth. If it was different, usually the clergy members had a Latinized name, and so you'll be able to see both of those and what the difference was. You'll get date of birth, date of death, any official title, if that person had status, was noble, a member of any house, what type of education, any accomplishments. Just think of it really as an amazing biography of your clergy ancestor. And so not every person's information is obviously going to be the same, right? Depending on how much is known or not known about the person. But for larger parishes, deaneries, there's usually a lot of information. And if you're looking for a relative as well of somebody who was a member of the clergy, this can also be an excellent source of information because usually family members followed in their, parents' footsteps. Families married other families of the same statuses. And so you can really see relationships between people, and you'll be able to find usually multiple generations in these types of volumes. I have been really lucky in my own research where I found like little nuggets here and there that really helped me move past brick walls, especially for my female ancestors when they married into different families. And it has been really, really useful. So I definitely want you to take a look at these. The only thing you're going to come up against is how do you find the right one, right? How do you know which book mentions your ancestor? Well, to answer that question, you need to know the location of where your ancestor worked. So usually that includes the parish, the deanery, or whatever area the person lived in and worked in. And so you do need to know because it's based on geography. Wikipedia has a really great list of what areas and how the Church of Sweden is divided up into. So I'm going to link to that as well, and that should point you in the right direction. And how do you know what's been published? Well, chances are that if you have an ancestor who was a member of the clergy, there will be some sort of information in one of these volumes on that person. Most of these volumes were written in the early 1880s until present time. And so don't confuse them with the time frame that your ancestor lived. Think about them as posthumous publications. So, where can you find one? Well, fortunately, these are actually pretty easy to find, right? Your local library might have it. If you are not in a place where they have one locally, go to worldcat.org to see what library might hold the one you're looking for. You can find them for sale, sometimes on Adlibris or Amazon. The Federation of Swedish Genealogical Societies sometimes have them for sale as well. And fortunately, a lot of them have been digitized as well. So if you head on over and read my blog post, you will find a bunch of links here to the ones that I know of that are online. And then you'll be able to basically go and visit them straight online and look through them there. And if you see one that I have missed, please let me know, because I'm always interested in keeping this list up to date. Another thing that you can do is request a digital version from one of the major European libraries. There is now a service called EOD, Ebooks-on-Demand, which is basically a service that is for a fee, but it is so worth it. It's basically all the major libraries in Europe coming together and making publications available in an effort to get things digitized. So, for example, if there is a very rare book that only exists at the National Library in Sweden and I am not there and I would like a copy, I pay for them to digitize it, and then that work becomes digitized for the rest of the world to enjoy, right? So I pay a tiny fee up front for basically them doing the work, and then that is now a scanned work, and it helps preserve the history and culture, and it also helps me in my research. So I have used this service a ton, and I would recommend that you do the same. You'll be able to access publications from Swedish libraries, Danish libraries, German libraries, you name it. There's a ton there. So again, I'm gonna make sure that I link to that in this blog post and underneath this video, so you can get searching on that. I highly recommend that you subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this. I hope this was helpful to you. Be sure to check out my blog post for all the details on how to search for a Herdaminne. And I hope that you find your clergy ancestor in one of these books. Let me know if you do, because that would be amazing. All right, I will see you next time.